I'm Farmer Dan, and today I wanted to show you what you get when you buy a quarter share of beef from us. And the best way to do that is actually to unpack what we will deliver to your home and show you exactly what you'll get. So the way to think about this is the beef that we're going to deliver to you falls into a few different categories. We got our premium steaks, we got what we call marinating steaks, we've got roasts, and then we've got kind of some special kinds of beef, and then of course we've got ground beef or burger patties, your choice. And so every share, for instance, comes with one chuck roast. Chuck roasts are flavorful, a little bit of, they're kind of pretty tender, and they're a perfect slow cooking dish for your crock pot on a Sunday during the winter. Every quarter share comes with a 3 to 4 pound chuck roast. And another roast that you're going to get is the I-round roast. Now, I-round is a little less tender, with a little bit less fat in it than the chuck roast. And it's a perfect roast to make if you want to kind of make roast beef sandwiches. Every share gets a 3 to 4 pound I-round. Let's see what else we've got. Well, this is a really fun one. Every share comes with 2 pounds of shaved steak. Shaved steak, if you're not familiar with it, it's kind of, I would almost call it a handkerchief thin steak. It's, because it's so thin, it's tender, it's got a lot of flavor. And I'm going to tell you the trick about these. You get 2 1 pound portions of shaved steak. Kids love these. They're perfect, in case you don't know, for a Philly cheesesteak sandwich. That's what they make it out of. And you are going to get 2 pounds of those. Now, everybody gets in every share comes with a brisket. A brisket is kind of from right here on the steer, and we will give you a 3 to 4 pound brisket. Again, perfect for slow roasting or for your crock pot. Makes great barbecue, corned beef. It's actually a pretty versatile cut. A lot of people smoke them, and you'll get brisket. And then we're going to start to move on to our premium steaks. And you're going to get 2 8-ounce filet mignons, tenderloin steaks. These are the tenderest steaks in the steer. You know, they get the least exercise, and they're the kind of steak that you can almost literally cut with your fork, full of flavor. Every time I eat one of these, I have a hard time not saying, wow, these are one of your premium steaks. And we'll keep going here. So all of our meat is dry aged for 14 days. That brings out a really great flavor, and it helps with the tenderness of the beef. And as you probably know, it's 100% grass-fed on our farm in Charleston, Maine. Now, every share gets 5 pounds of short ribs. Short ribs are, when people start cooking these and discovering them, they're full of flavor. They've got some bone. They've got a fair amount of fat. They're really good in the slow cooker. But another way to prepare them is actually to take the bone off, and they become almost like a steak. So you get 5 pounds of short ribs. Then you're going to get a total of 4 pounds of either stew meat or beef kebabs. Now, stew meat, well, that's perfect for a slow cooker for making beef stew. The kebabs can be put on a skewer and cooked on the grill. So you get 4 pounds of those. And all of our meat is flash frozen. That comes to mind because my fingers are getting just a little bit cold. It's all flash frozen, vacuum sealed. Typically it's in 1 pound packages for convenience, and it will last in your freezer up to about a year. The next category I want to show you is, we call them marinating steaks. They don't come with a marinade, but because they're a little bit less tender, they are perfect for a marinade. So a marinade is going to make them more tender, a marinade for a few hours in the refrigerator. And that will typically be like a chuck steak, in this case, sirloin tip steak. And you'll get 4 to 5 pounds of those kinds of marinating steaks. Again, that'll be a sirloin steak or a chuck steak or sirloin tip steak. Then, of course, these are steak tips. Steak tips are really interesting, versatile, very convenient meat to use. They can be braised, they can be grilled, they can be in all sorts of dishes. And the steak tips come with 2 1-pound packages. Now we're going to get into some of the really cool stuff. So every share comes with 3 T-bone steaks and 3 porterhouse steaks. And these are basically the porterhouse and the T-bones, and you'll see some great marbling on those steaks. These are related because they're actually connected. The difference between a T-bone, you're going to get a little education here, and a porterhouse is this section of the meat is just bigger in a porterhouse and a little smaller in a T-bone. The other thing to know about a porterhouse or a T-bone is you're actually getting 2 steaks in one. This part of the porterhouse is a strip steak, a New York strip steak, and this part is the tenderloin. Just happens to have a bone between them. These are premium steaks. They're full of flavor. They're best cooked to a medium rare, and they don't need a lot. The way I cook them is salt, iron, pan, and grill them that way. And then finally, just in terms of steaks, you get 4 1-pound ribeyes. Take a look at that. Wow, we're just so proud of the marbling on these. Grass-fed beef often doesn't have this kind of marbling, but because we finish our steers in a certain way, making sure they're gaining weight and everything, we tend to get some really nice marbling. And there is nothing better than a well-marbled, just flavorful ribeye. And so finally, besides all of that, each share comes with 45 pounds of what I kind of consider the very best ground beef that I've ever had. Whoops. And so it's in 1-pound vacuum sealed packages. This is ground beef that makes a hamburger that tastes like the hamburger you had when you were a kid. And that is the reaction that I get from so many people. The really way to kind of taste ground beef, I think, is when you're making like spaghetti sauce and you're browning your ground beef. Before you pour the spaghetti sauce in there, taste that ground beef, because this is it's just got a wonderful beefy flavor. It's great for burgers, meatloaf, spaghetti sauce. We could just go on. So you get 45 pounds of ground beef. So the beef here plus the ground beef, and by the way, the ground beef can come as burger patties as well. So that's a look at what you get in a quarter share of beef from Heartstone Farm.